Welcome to the book of Exodus. We are in chapter 26. It's not the most exciting chapter in the world, but there's a lot of very interesting things. The next several chapters were constructing the mobile tabernacle with the children of Israel out in the wilderness. And these were very skilled people, and as I've said before, they learned a lot of skills in Egypt. Not that they didn't have skills, but I believe they learned a lot more in Egypt. Tapestries and metal forging and metalworking and weaving and constructing, engineering, a lot of cool things. So today, like I say, it's not the most exciting, but interesting. So here we go, Exodus chapter 26. Moreover, thou shalt make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine twisted linen and blue and purple and scarlet, with cherubims of cunning work shalt thou make them. Cherubims being kind of the angels, and if you look at the Renaissance type paintings, they believe that cherubim were very young angels, very angelic angels, if that's a appropriate term, an angelic angel, kind of like a little child. You see that kind of a lot in the Renaissance paintings. Anyway, here we go, verse 2. The length of one curtain shall be 28 cubits, and the breadth of one curtain 4 cubits, and every one of the curtains shall have one measure. So they were very strict about the measurements, and obviously if you're going to make kind of a representative of the temple, the tabernacle in the heavens, God's going to want you to be accurate. And so as I give you the Word of God here to the best of my abilities, as a dumb bear can give you the Bible, I try to do it as accurately as I can, to the knowledge I have now. You know, in the years to come, maybe 10 years from now, I'll have increased in that. Maybe I'll even step backwards and say, well, I think a little differently, or think a little better in this way or that way. But for this time being, I'm giving you the best of my ability, the most accurate that I know how. So, verse 3, the 5 curtains shall be coupled together one to another, and the other 5 curtains shall be coupled one to another. And thou shalt make loops of blue upon the edge of the one curtain from the selvage in the coupling, and likewise shalt thou make in the uttermost edge of another curtain in the coupling of the second. Once again, we have a mascot in here with us today. That's Canute. Canute, what you doing over there, boy? Okay, he's into no good, ripping apart some of Daddy's weights. And he's pretty good. He loves playing with barbells. He loves throwing them around. Kind of hard to believe he can do it, but he can. So, verse 5. 50 loops shalt thou make in the one curtain, and 50 loops shalt thou make in the edge of the curtain that is in the coupling of the second, that the loops may take hold one of another. And thou shalt make 50 tacks of gold, couple the curtains together with the tacks, and it shall be one tabernacle, like a big clip needle kind of a thing, made out of gold. These people were skilled. They could work with gold and molding very well. They were smart, and while they're traveling, they had the ability to build themselves a little furnace and melt these things down. That is really cool. So they're coupled together with gold clasps, hooks, pins, something like that. Verse 7, thou shalt make the curtains of goat's hair to be a covering upon the tabernacle. 11 curtains shalt thou make. So they were good tanners, and they could weave the lamb's wool, and the goats, and the rams. They were smart people. God gave them talents, and he gifted them, especially the working of the tabernacle. It says that God gifted the craftsmen so they would do an excellent job. The length of one curtain shall be 30 cubits, and the breadth of one curtain 4 cubits, and the 11 curtains shall be all of one measure. And thou shalt couple 5 curtains by themselves, and 6 curtains by themselves, and shalt double the 6th curtain in the forefront of the tabernacle. And thou shalt make 50 loops on the edge of the one curtain, that is the outmost in the coupling, and 50 loops in the edge of the curtain, which coupleth the second. And thou shalt make 50 tacks, there's the tacks, the little clasps of brass. Put the tacks into the loops and couple the tent together, that it may be one. And the remnant that remaineth of the curtains of the tent, the half curtain that remaineth, shall hang over the backside of the tabernacle, and a cubit on the one side, and a cubit on the other side of that which remaineth in the length of the curtains of the tent. It shall hang over the sides of the tabernacle on this side and on that side to cover it. And thou shalt make a covering for the tent of ram skins, or we got rams involved here, dyed red, and a covering above of badgers' skins. So not only did they have ram skins, but they dyed them red. And then on top of that, they had badger skins. So here we're in badger country, here in Wisconsin. And so apparently they had a plentiful supply of badgers out in that wilderness. And thou shalt make boards for the tabernacle of shittim wood standing up. Once again, shittim wood is kind of a rare wood that we're not quite really sure what it is. Whatever it was very strong, and it's what the Lord wanted most of all, so it doesn't really matter. 10 cubits shall be the length of a board, and a cubit and a half shall be the breadth of one board. 2 tenons shall there be in one board, set in order, one against another. And thou shalt make for all the boards of the tabernacle. And thou shalt make the boards for the tabernacle 20 boards on the south side southward. And thou shalt make 40 sockets of silver under the 20 boards, 2 sockets under one board for his 2 tenons, and 2 sockets under another board for his 2 tenons. So these boards weren't just wiggling around. They had pretty heavy bases. They had hooks. They had little goblet things that you could couple them into the base and to one another. So they were cool. Very skilled. I don't think I could have done that job, but these guys were skilled. And for the second side of the tabernacle on the north side, son, please, there shall be 20 boards, and there 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under one board, and 2 sockets under another board. Really, son? Hey, really? Do you really have to do that? Really, right now? Oh, okay, now he has my Packer hat. And I'm seriously thinking about chasing him down for my Packer hat. Come here, you little... Okay, that means war. If we wouldn't be doing this Bible study, I'd be chasing him down for my Packer hat. Okay, got it from him. There we go. This baby, this is a good hat, so. I don't know how he got it, but he's a smart doggy. Yes, you are very smart. You can't have my Packer hat, dude. That's just the way it is. Okay, I don't know if you talk to your dog, but I talk to Canute. This dog is smart, very intelligent. Okay, here we go. Verse 20, and for the second side of the tabernacle on the north side, there shall be 20 boards, and there 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under one board, 2 sockets on another board, and for the sides of the tabernacle westward thou shalt make 6 boards. So there's kind of a rectangle thing going. There's an outer tent, outer kind of curtain boundary. Then there was the actual tent with a covering, and they were doubled up sometimes. And then there was an inner tabernacle, and then it was screened off with a little curtain. And there was the Holy of Holies, and then there was a place where the priests would come and set up the 12 loaves of bread and rotate them in and out. Then we had the incense. There was a table for incense, and then you had the lampstands that were burning with olive oil. Outside the Holy of Holies, inside the Holy of Holies, you had the Ark of the Covenant with a mercy seat of gold over the top of it. A lot of cool things, to me, because if you've been camping out in the rough, it's kind of hard to get a lot of things together in your campground and your campsite. That takes a lot of pre-planning as to, what are you going to do for food, how are you going to build the fire, how many matches you're going to take. I mean, these people did a lot of planning, and God had it all set in place for them to pick up and run with it. Verse 23, and 2 boards shalt thou make for the corners of the tabernacle on the 2 sides, and they shall be coupled together beneath, and they shall be coupled together above. The head of it unto 1 ring, and they shall be it for them both. They shall be for the 2 corners, and they shall be 8 boards in their sockets of silver, 16 sockets, 2 sockets under 1 board, and 2 sockets under another board. So these weren't just wobbling little boards. They were like building like a trailer, a little mini trailer without the wheels out in the wilderness, and it was very rigid, and it could hold up to the windstorms out in the wilderness, windstorms, rainstorms, so forth. And thou shalt make bars of shittim wood, 5 for the boards of the one side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the side of the tabernacle for the 2 sides westward. And the middle bar in the midst of the board shall reach from end to end. So they had a pretty sturdy structure. And I don't know about you, but when I build something, I like to build it heavy. 2x12s, pressure treated or good oak, wood, pine. Heavy duty. I'm kind of if you're going to build it like a brick house. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they're doing. And thou shalt overlay the boards with gold, and make their rings of gold for places for the bars, and thou shalt overlay the bars with gold. And thou shalt rear up the tabernacle according to the fashion thereof, which was showed thee in the mount. And thou shalt make a veil of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen of cunning work with cherubims shall it be made. And thou shalt hang it upon 4 pillars of shittim wood overlaid with gold, and their hooks shall be of gold upon the 4 sockets of silver. So they had a lot of metalworking going on out in the wilderness. So they had a lot of construction going on just to make the little gadgets for the temple. And thou shalt hang up the veil under the tacks, that thou mayest bring in thither within the veil the ark of the testimony, and the veil shall divide unto you between the holy place and the most holy. So as I said, there was 2 different compartments underneath the tent of the tabernacle. And thou shalt put the mercy seat upon the ark of the testimony in the most holy place, and thou shalt set the table without the veil, and the candlestick over against the table on the side of the tabernacle toward the south, and thou shalt put the table on the north side. And thou shalt make an hanging for the door of the tent of blue and purple and scarlet, and fine twined linen wrought with needlework. And thou shalt make for the hanging 5 pillars of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold, and their hooks shall be of gold, and thou shalt cast 5 sockets of brass for them. The type of materials they used is very significant. For those of you that are very, very smart, can understand the significance of brass, silver, gold. Gold obviously being the finest, and once you get into the Holy of Holies, where probably the most of the gold was presented on the boards, the walls, the Ark of the Covenant, the mercy seat. Not that there wasn't gold on the outside, but if you're looking at the gold that they had for the angels and the covering on the ark, there was quite a bit. So, with all that being said, Exodus 26, Not the most exciting, but interesting. And if you're a craftsman, I'm a craftsman. I have a specific trade that I work in, and that's my job classification. But I like to deal in all the trades because it's very interesting to me. So hopefully this was a little bit interesting to you today. And with that, from me and Canute, God bless you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.